Ashley's losing her damn shit over here. I have no damn clue. Also, we're live. Hi, everyone.
Oh my
We're
god.
live.
Oops.
Wow. Hello, everyone.
Who let that happen?
We're
I
half
don't know.
stalling as Jake might get power, but
He might.
yeah. Part of his building has power, so progress, he says.
Progress.
Yeah, it's Friday. So that means we're here on Defenders of Kobold playing Anvea, the game system I made for the world that I made. And I'm dragging everyone through it as we test it and see what's wrong with it and get slowly towards publishing it or something.
Yeah.
You know, whatever.
Something like
Yeah. This is session 2 here. We're picking up Alex, who's in the process of making his character. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask on that.
Yeah.
Most of the character creation stuff's like at the bottom of that PDF thing.
and you have some macros too, I think.
Yeah, there's 2 macros, one that generates random stats and one that picks a random race and gives you random skills.
Oh, that's too late. I've already picked out stupid stuff.
That's
like
fine
it.
too.
Excellent.
And then, then probably the part that's going to take the longest on your character generation is going through the advancements, because you pick one from that big table at the bottom. So, yeah. Last time on Anvea, you guys started out. There was a big festival celebrating the 45th annual trade festivals. It was basically 45 years ago. Things were finally deemed safe enough that towns were opening up their trade routes, and there's all sorts of boom and prosperity, and agriculture's coming back to some of the regions. People aren't scared to leave as much anymore. Some of the walls are coming down, all sorts of stuff. And every year they have this festival to just kind of celebrate that time, because it's been a rough nearly 300 years, but things are finally turning back around. You guys started off with a puffin toss, where you had to toss some puffins off of a high place to teach them to fly.
Yeah, we did.
Did some crab racing. Did a drinking contest. Helped an old man chop some wood, which was definitely one of the games, and not just...
We didn't help him, actually. We just appreciated his game.
Yeah,
Okay.
John did. Yeah.
Yes.
I think John was the only one that did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then after all the festivities and things, they're still kind of going on, but it's getting a little bit later in the day. And then you guys saw a little bit out of the town square this interaction going on between what looked to be a Catherine Inquisitor and a librarian. After investigating that, you learned that this librarian has some contraband, or at least the Inquisitor people deem it as such, which are some books and artifacts from the nation to the east that was destroyed about 300 years ago and brought with it all these horrible plagues and the Echo Blight. And these Inquisitors like to go around and just destroy all the history associated with that, because they don't know what caused it, and they're not taking any chances. So whenever they find stuff, not necessarily the people, they don't really care about the people so much. It's more like just the history and the culture. They'll burn books, destroy maps, try and get rid of that as much as possible, but they're kind of okay if the people get along. But some are a little more hardcore about that than others.
So what you're saying is
spoke with that.
we're bringing it back.
Bring it back a little bit. They're trying to.
We're going to bring it back.
Yeah.
Ruin, damnation, terrible things. We're bringing it back.
We're bringing it back.
Yeah.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
I feel like somehow we're consistently bad for the world in your campaigns, so I feel like this is on brand for us. Yeah.
Usually that works that way. There's been several like devastating events that you guys have caused or helped, but it's been great. It's really good.
So
it helps
I'm trying
make
to
those
we can
feel more
stay on
real, you know?
track. Yeah,
Yeah.
can keep that trend
But
going.
yeah. And this whole thing too with these inquisitors going out, they mainly come from the northern nation called Kethris, and no one really intervenes on behalf of the people that are left over from that eastern nation, which is now referred to as the Deep Basin. They don't really know what side to pick on it because these inquisitors leave everyone else alone. And also, no one really knows enough about what happened, so they don't really want to defend these people because they're like, maybe they have a point, you know, might not be a good thing to protect this stuff. So everyone just kind of looks the other way, doesn't usually want to intervene.
Those
But
jerks.
you guys did not. You stepped in. This librarian lady, she showed you that she had a map and 2 books. I think that was all, or I think it was a map, a scroll, and 2 books, maybe.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
And we tried to read the books.
And you tried to read the books, yes.
Yes.
Jake, I think, did the map, and it just seemed to be a normal map that went farther east. Usually maps kind of end right at where the Deep Basin is, because 1, the history of it's trying to be erased, and then 2, it's kind of just a hellscape that no one goes to anymore, and they don't really care about keeping that updated. But it did have some interesting locations that were in the rest of the world that you guys have never heard of, so there might be ruins and things to go investigate. But the more intriguing thing, I guess, that she had was these books that I believe mainly Dan and John were investigating. And you've heard them be referred to as black books, because usually they're indestructible, and when the inquisitors come by and they burn everything else and they're not able to destroy these books, they soak them in ink so that they can't be read anymore. But you found one of these black books before it's been turned into a black book, and it's just this tome of some sort of arcane or occult knowledge. Can't really read it, but you both kind of stumbled onto the trick to it at the same time, which is it's kind of like one of the, I was supposed to look up the word for these, but it's like those books where you go cross-eyed a little bit and then your eyes focus
The
and
magic
like
puzzle?
stuff comes off the
Or
page.
magic illusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what that is. I don't know if there's like a term for it or if it's like a trademark named thing. So
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to say it, but one of those. Yeah, like you look at it weird and then it becomes multidimensional. But this is like that times 10 as it's like layered and stacked. And you figure out that's at least one part of the trick, but there might be languages that are popping out that you don't really understand because you weren't really able to decipher anything from that point. It looked more like language at that point, and less like weird scribbles and but
Okay,
still
Joe.
not to the point where
We found the ultimate cookbooks.
We did. So the brand name is Magic Eye. And then
Okay.
the
sounds
feature,
familiar.
the 3D shit is called auto stereograms.
Stereogram was the word that was in my head that I couldn't remember.
Yeah, just put auto on front of it, and that's what those fucking Magic Eye books are.
Yeah. So they're magic tomes encoded with stereograms, which is when your eyes focus wrong and stuff pops out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you guys found that. And then the session kind of ended with you deciding that you wanted to help this woman, but you weren't super sure how, because she was very afraid that if you stepped in to help, that they would just kind of torch her place and stuff. Because
We kindly offered to rob them,
Mm-hmm.
We did.
right,
We did.
and they said that they didn't think that would work.
right. She was
We'll keep that in
on
the back
board.
burner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's still plan A, just slightly different plan A.
We're
Right.
going to rob
I-
someone
to-
else.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think what she convinced you guys of, or at least talked through, was, if you rob me, right after I was found out for having them, they're not going to believe me. But I don't care what you guys do to the people that take them from me. So I think that's what you guys were kind of planning on doing, was robbing the people after they seize the books.
We're gonna rob the cultural robbers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Definitely won't be any stabbing involved.
I mean, I won't
Minimal.
stab anyone.
Yeah.
I'll shoot them with an arrow.
Isn't that like long distance stabbing?
Yeah, I think you're right. That is
No.
Yeah, remote stabbing.
remote stabbing.
Remote stabbing.
And speaking of remote stabbing, Chuck was on lookout for the while everyone else was inside looking at these tomes and books. Chuck did some sleuthing, wanted to make sure no one was, sneaking up on the house, securing the perimeter and all that. When he noticed a shadow didn't quite line up with the building, it seemed a little bit too dark on one side. And as he investigated it further, the shadow kind of moved along the ground. The opacity was all messed up. Then you shot it, and it kind of like congealed into the shape of a weird shadow dog thing, and then died and let out a bunch of smoke. So some fucky magic stuff that you're dealing with too.
Yeah.
That's where we wrapped, was you guys deciding to fuck with the Inquisitors, pretty much.
Yes. I didn't hear that last thing. My headphones cut out.
Oh, you're fine. But that's pretty much where we're picking up, is like right after this conversation with her. She had told you, this librarian lady had told you that the Inquisitors said that they were going to come back at pretty much around midnight. And that if she did not give over the books, they were going to take everything from her, like implying they were go into the direction of the festival as you approach this building.
Yeah.
So if there's any preparations or anything you guys want to do, or if you want to go back to the festival and keep participating in any of the games that are left, you can always do that. It's kind of up to you guys. And then Alex, where are we at with your character? Do you need any help with any aspect of them? I don't know if you've done any of the, I think you did one playtest a long time ago. But it's a little bit different now.
No,
I don't think I had like the character sheet or anything.
No, I'm picking my skills right now.
Okay, cool.
Like if you want to say I'm there, I'm good enough.
Cool. And then and then you should be able to modify your character sheet with all that stuff.
I will.
And then once that's in there, the macro will start working for you. I think it'll kind of act weird if you don't have any stats in there. Yeah. So is there anything in particular you guys are wanting to do, or you wanted to kind of like fast forward, or do you have preparations you want to do? Do you want to go back to the festival?
Ask, do we want to follow him into the festival and keep an eye on him and see if he's got allies?
That's not a terrible idea.
And then maybe if others want to scout out a good hidey hole to keep an eye on this when they come back.
Yeah, I'm fairly sneaky, so I'd gladly volunteer to help with the tracking these dudes to see if they've got more than just the one creeper that we saw.
Yeah, and I think she mentioned that there was only the one that she saw, and you only saw the one guy walking away from the house. Definitely doesn't mean there aren't more, but you've only seen one person traveling from there. Or that appears to be an Inquisitor from what you've seen. And then I believe, John, you said that your character was from the north as well.
Yep.
So you have a little bit more of an eye out for these Inquisitors. Like pretty much everyone's heard of the Inquisitors. You guys always hear stories of like people getting harassed by them, but everyone kind of looks the other way. But John's a little bit more familiar with them, and he's able to identify them like a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
And then Chuck, you had seen that he was walking back towards the festival, and he's pretty much like right at the end of the street when you guys started talking with the librarian. So if you wanted to go back, it's probably been like about 20 minutes with your whole interaction
Sure.
with her. So he's had some time to mingle in the crowd, but can't have gone too far.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna try and track him down.
Okay.
I'll.
Sure.
Yeah.
And however you want to do this too, like a big part of initiating like skill tests in this is you're leveraging how you think your character is going to be going about it. Like you could be doing an observe test to just look, or you could do like social tests to talk to people and ask around. So however you
I
feel that your
am
character
going
would
to
go.
fall back on one of my strengths. I'm going to rely on dumb luck.
Okay.
And my find skill.
Sure.
I'll take one success. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. With that, and it's a pretty big festival, but it's getting a little bit later in the day, and it takes you a little bit with that one success to find them. But eventually, you do see that they are kind of on. They're like near the food court, pretty much. It looks like they may have just gotten something to eat, and they're around that area. They don't really seem to be participating in any of the games. They just kind of trying to blend in with people and look around.
And this is that creeper dude, right? Who summoned the smoke shadow thing.
Yeah. He was a very like tall, kind of gaunt person.
Sure.
He's wearing this very big like fur jacket that it's much too warm here for that type of thing. So he just kind of has it draped over his shoulders like it's a cape almost. And that is probably the thing that stands out the most about him is this big coat.
Sure.
Yeah, it looks like he's just kind of mingling around, looking at people. Doesn't seem to have anyone directly around him.
Okay.
At least not obviously so.
I'll try and kind of like stay hidden for a while and stay back and just kind of watch him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is anyone else doing anything?
I'm not for sneaking, so
Okay.
I'm kind of looking around the area that by this library to see if there's any good spots for us to kind of like set up an ambush.
Okay.
that seems like a good thing to spend some time on.
Sure.
And I'm a little bit
roll
distinctive, so figured it wouldn't be good for me to tail him.
Yeah. You can roll for that if you want, for sure. Like,
Sure.
there's nothing that quite jumps out. There's buildings and things and some alleyways and stuff. But if you're wanting to find like a really good spot, you can definitely roll and see if there's
Sure.
anything that is immediately obvious.
I would like to use my discern cantrip for this.
Okay. Yeah. Do that. It should pop up as an option on that macro there for you. You've got a point in it.
I'm gonna
No successes. Hey, there you go. Okay. One success on a push.
yeah.
You didn't roll any ones, so you don't take any damage.
Yeah.
All right. It takes you a little bit to muster up. And how do you picture this discern cantrip going out? Is it like feeding information to you? Is it like warping your vision? Like,
what it
how do you-
is that I've got those extra eye tattoos, and they start swiveling around and looking in other directions and kind of giving me different perspectives.
Sure, yeah. And with that, you're definitely able to take, a slightly different look at the surrounding area. You see that there are a few buildings that have flatter roofs than others, kind of around there. And you notice that one of the houses also looks like it was burnt out or something a while back, and the frame's still there, and it's got a door there, but it's just kind of sitting there. It's not on hinges or anything, and it's to make it look nicer. But after you've been looking around, you notice like, oh, some of the windows are missing. It looks like there's just kind of this hollow frame shell of a house that might be a good place to hide.
All right, I'll point that out
Nice.
to my companions.
Okay.
There.
Great. And Chuck, you're just mingling back, watching this guy.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and you see him. He's kind of just slowly moving through. It looks like he's watching out a lot. Um, every so often, his gaze will meet. What's his name? Ballastar, the Echo Warden guy that you guys saw at the food court.
Oh, okay.
You'll see he after you're watching him for a while, it looks like he's almost kind of intentionally avoiding him. And Battlestar doesn't seem to be too observant in things. It looks like his guard's kind of down and he's just enjoying the festivities and things, which is pretty normal for his type. The Echo Wardens, usually when they're in town, it's one of the only places they get to be kind of relaxed. They're usually out in the elements and things. So he's just having a good time, drinking it up and things. But you can tell that every time this Inquisitor guy kind of looks like he might be seen by him or might be too close to him, he's kind of changing his direction and trying to walk away inconspicuously. Not obviously, but you've been watching him and you notice that over like the course of, the next 10, 15 minutes.
Okay.
Also, over this time, you don't see him talk to anyone else. You see that he adjusts his cufflinks a lot. He's got these he's wearing kind of like a vest and then this like dress shirt underneath it. He seems to be fidgeting with those quite a bit.
Okay. If I had one of our magic users with us, I might ask them if that was a focus. But I'm not a magic user, so I will have a suspicion and ask them when I join back up with the party.
Sure. You, with that specific thought in mind as you're looking at it, you definitely get some sort of a feeling, but you can't sense focuses in the same way, but they do look like more pronounced, and they're usually a focus is pretty. Yeah, they're not usually dull kind of cheap looking things. They're usually pretty nice. They're usually nicer metals or just some craftsmanship to focuses usually, and you get that sense at least from these cufflinks. Either they're very expensive or they may be a focus of his.
Okay.
Yeah. With that, are you gonna stay on him or just go back and report?
Has he been kind of lingering in the same area for a while?
Yeah, he seems to be kind of just taking his time in the festival. He doesn't look like he's trying to move through and go somewhere. He's just kind of been circling.
Okay. And he
looks
keeps...
like the only thing he's been doing, obviously, is
eyeballing.
Avoiding.
Oh, he's avoiding. That was going to be my question for clarification. I know you said he was looking at it, but he's actively trying to avoid where he's at. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. With that, I'll slip out and try and team back up with the crew. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
All right.
First thing I'll do is I'll ask our two magic users. He's got these big ass fancy cufflinks. He keeps wiggling them and shit. I think those are it's magic casting tools.
Yeah. Casting focus.
Would that be like a lore kind of thing, or something that we would know generally, or?
Based on how he's describing it, it sounds like that way. But if you wanted to get more, you'd probably have to see it. I don't know.
Okay, fair.
I think Chuck was. I don't remember who really noticed him last time. I know Chuck, you did. Actually,
it seems like
I think you did as well, John.
I might have,
because I think I gave you that you recognized kind of where he was from last time. So remembering that off the top of your head, I would say just from the last time you saw him, you'd probably be able to put that together. It looks like those are his spellcasting focuses, probably his cufflinks.
Yeah, the shadow thing that you attacked.
Yeah,
that was probably his. So
I figured
those are probably what he used for that.
Okay. Well, he's just hanging out in the square, and he's avoiding that warden guy very actively. So now what, guys? Do we just camp out, wait for him to show up for the stuff, and then rob him as soon as he leaves the area?
What time is it?
It's getting kind of later. There's still sunlight,
Okay.
but it's not
We
quite
get
to the point where the sun's like hitting the horizon, but it's a little bit above it.
So we got a few hours yet before it's midnight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you probably around like 2 or 3 till
Y'all
like
want to eat?
nightfall.
I think so.
Food is good.
Food's always good.
Yeah, it's definitely getting towards the time of the next meal. You guys ate a little bit late with the drinking game you did, but still good meal
Definitely
time.
use food now after the drinking game.
Yeah, for sure. So, one thing too before we move on too much, I forgot to do EXP questions at the end of last
Dare
session.
you?
And I had that at the top of my notes for tonight, and I overlooked it again. But we're doing them this time. So yeah, the way you progress in this game is EXP questions. There's 5 of them every session, and each one of them is worth 1 point of experience. And most things are pretty cheap. Like a new advance is 6 experience. A new context is 5. A new skill or spell rank is 3, and getting a skill or spell rank to rank 3 is 4. So for last time, I think the questions that pretty much everyone met are the first 4, which is, did you participate in the session? Just 1, and I'll give it to you, Alex, just to stay on the same. 2, did you gain or remove any conditions? Which technically, if any of you got drunk from that drinking game, that was a condition. Being intoxicated by it.
Okay.
So whoever took that intoxicated condition got that. Did you fail a roll or take harm from a push? Which I'm pretty sure everybody did.
Yep.
During the drinking game, everybody did for sure.
Yep.
And then 4, did you make any progress on the story or objective? And you all definitely
We
did.
found a story. Yeah.
Yeah. You stumbled into a hook. And then 5 is GM boon. Like, is there something in particular that you did that special actions, kind of like the inspiration reward for D&D, that type of thing? So everyone should have either 3 or 4 if you took a condition.
Cool.
And I'll say you got 3 there, Alex.
Okay.
Yeah, I
take
think I've
note
got
of
You don't
3
have to
as
spend them right
well.
away. You can save them up. On the character sheet, you can just check up how many experience points you have. And then over the course of the session, you can check those boxes and then turn them into points at the end. Just to keep track. All right, back to it. So, and then John, I imagine you share what you found too for your positions and all that.
Yeah. Look, we have a lovely home.
Good.
We'll burst out and burgle the burglars.
Okay. Is this an empty house?
It's a burned out house,
Oh. Okay.
but there's
It's
walls
kind of
we can
like
hide behind.
catty corner of so it's like across the street and then over one from this library.
Okay.
I believe you.
Yep.
Cool.
All right, and then Alex, do you have your stats in or?
For the most
Still
part, I
working on
believe
that.
I do.
Okay. Are you going with a caster or
Monk.
standard? Monk
Yes,
type.
yes,
Okay.
standard monk.
All right. So monks don't have the like unarmored requirement like a lot of other systems, so you can still wear armor and all that.
Have a gambasan or whatever it's called.
Yeah, yeah, you can use that. And it also lets your unarmed attacks, instead of doing a d4, do a d6, and you can substitute your brawn out for wisdom on brawn checks.
Nice.
That's gonna happen.
Yep. On your melee, you can do your wisdom. The other fun interaction, if you grapple people, you do more damage during grapples.
Oh hell
'cause
yeah.
that counts as an unarmed attack.
Yeah.
Yeah. What ancestry did you go with?
You said ancestry.
Yeah. It's like which race?
Which one did I? Oh, my race is human.
Mhm. And then that gives you extra skill rank.
Mm-hmm.
Not an extra advance, an extra skill rank.
Oh, I may have put that in wrong then.
It should give you like another skill point to distribute.
Bam.
Because I think you, I don't see the monk advance on there, but
Oh, I have to click down on that.
yeah, cool. And it looks like your points are distributed pretty good. So cool. Do you want to introduce your character to everyone?
I am Gareth Belmont.
Okay.
He is the minor priestess of the House of Daggers, of a welcoming, loving environment that he invites everybody to. And you should join.
Sounds great. Awesome.
Is the like stabbing required? Like, is that your secret handshake? You like just stab someone?
Oh no! The House of Daggers is a loving and caring environment, but we also do, you know, we're
Bad.
we're not bad, but we understand combat.
Okay.
That's fair. That's fair. I've already gotten
Yeah.
stabbed. My grandmother's
Yeah.
spider, so I'm good.
All right. So with that, you guys are making your way
big
back into
spider,
the
John.
festival.
Yes,
There's
it is.
all sorts of food and drink that are still. They're not very expensive, so it's all within like the limit that pretty much gets hand waved away as just general expenses. At this point, it's pretty late into the night, and it looks like Ballastar has not really left the food court area. He is a pretty large guy, so it's been taking him a while to get, tipsy, but he's definitely at that point there. You see there's several like plates of food that have been stacked in front of him. He's got several drinks, and he's just kind of rocking back and forth and like calling out at people every so often. Seems to be having a good time.
And who is this? This ain't the creepy guy, is it?
Not the creepy guy. This
warden?
is Ballastar, the Echo Warden guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So think a Witcher, but less creepy and more respected.
Portrayed by
Yeah.
Liam Hemsworth and not Henry Cavill.
Is that the new one?
Yeah.
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 So I guess I'll kind of move over and see if I can just kind of chat to him.
Sure. Yeah, you go over. He's sitting down at this point. He's got all the food in front of him. He's like kind of slowly picking away at a big turkey leg. You walk by and he points the turkey leg at you. And he's like, "It's pretty brave of you to walk around with all them tattoos all over you."
That
Some
was
people don't
braver to
like
even
that.
get him. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I don't worry about what other people think. How are you doing?
I like that. I'm doing fantastic.
You look like you're doing fantastic. Do you mind if I join you?
I'll have a seat. And he like grabs, he like just slots his arm down on the table and just knocks a whole bunch of stuff out of the way and slaps his hand down on the seat next to you or next to him.
Appreciate it. So how long have you been out of town, so to speak?
Usually I go about 3 to 4 weeks. I dip in for a few days. Held out for a little bit longer this time because of the festival.
Yeah.
And so I'd been out for a month and a half.
Oh, wow. It's a long time.
I wasn't that far east though, so it wasn't too bad.
Yeah. Is it real bad out east?
The farther you go, worse it gets.
Yeah.
They keep saying it's safe to open stuff up. It's not that way.
Okay. All right. What kind of, if you don't mind me asking, what kind of things you see out that way?
I saw some witches. I saw. He like blinks really hard and saw some people that were missing their face.
Ooh. Okay.
And like
Sounds-
everything behind it. It was like that was what their head looked like.
Oh.
I didn't like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't like that either. That sounds pretty terrible. And
I
pretty
still could
terrifying.
scream, and I don't know how. And it bothered me, but
Yeah.
eh,
What are
that's
you
why I do
drinking?
it. Whatever. And he points over at it was the more spiked keg that was used for the drinking competition.
Good stuff.
Can I get more of that for this guy?
And he like raises his mug up at that, and one of the guys runs over and fills it. It's like, thanks, friend. And takes a swig of it. It's like, yeah, it's not as bad as it was like maybe last 10 years or so. It is getting better, but it's not safe by any
Yeah.
means. But
Aside
too
from
bad.
that, aside from just not going that way, any pro tips, any safety tips if someone were to ever go that direction?
Don't travel more than a day's worth from a bulwark.
Okay.
And you would know a bulwark is there's kind of like these toll stations almost along the roads, they're kind of like protective forts, and
Okay.
everyone calls them bulwarks. They're usually a little bit predatory because they charge
Oh, I
people
suppose,
to
yeah.
let them in, but they're usually safe. But yeah, they won't open doors up for people that can't pay to go inside of them, no matter how much you need to and what's chasing you. They're pretty strict about their door policy.
Fair.
So
Fair.
his guy's like, yeah, don't want to sleep out there. So
Yeah.
being within a bulwark's good. Keep your ears plugged if you hear screaming. That
Okay.
sounds like it's in your head. It sounds like it's in your head. It's not in your head. It's magic.
All right.
And as he says it's magic, he like thunks you like right on one of your tattoos. Kind
Yep.
of like that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why do you look like a spider?
Personal choice. And it has some meaning to me.
All right. I could get behind that.
Yeah.
He takes another swig. And, well, I guess. All right. You haven't seen anyone else that's got one of these. And he's going to, like, reach into his armor. And he shuffles around a little bit. And you see him pull, like, this pendant out. It's this really long, kind of, like, narrow, rectangular metallic band. It's got this weird, like, almost rainbowy reflective sheen to it. It's like it's kind of like whitish metal. It's got all sorts of markings on it, and then you see a marking that you commonly see associated with the Echo Wardens. Like, you haven't seen anyone else with one of these things around here, have you?
No, I can't say that I have. Are you looking for someone with one?
Yeah, someone got one from a friend that I lost. He's gets you into places for free and stuff sometimes, and People try to steal them from people. I had a friend, the last one, because he died.
Hmm. Sorry to hear
But
that.
I heard it was around here. I was
Oh, yeah?
looking for it.
Okay.
He like
Well,
blinks again really hard.
if I see anything, I'll let you know.
If they're traveling with people, not one of us.
Gotcha.
With solo.
Yeah. Kind of like those Inquisitor types.
They usually have people.
Yeah.
They don't come out this far.
Not usually.
Yeah.
Well,
They try to
go
mess
ahead.
with us every so often.
Yeah.
Yeah. We help people that they don't like when we help them.
Bunch of jerks.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll rough them up if I see them. Yeah.
good to know. So I'm gonna let you get back to your meal. And did you do the puff and toss?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it was good fun.
I
Huh?
just watched.
Okay. Yeah.
When he has like massive hands. This is like a large person. He's not quite like half giant size, but he's like very
Up there.
large. He's like, I'm afraid to. I would feel real bad if I squished
I
it.
get you. I get you.
But yeah, I watched that earlier today. It was cool.
Very nice. All right. Well, you enjoy your meal, good sir.
You too, as you're not eating anything.
Not yet. And I'll meander back to wherever the rest of my companions are.
Takes another swig. He like misses it a little bit, spills on his chest. He's like,
That man is going to sleep good tonight and make a terrible
Yeah,
mess also.
Yeah.
Possibly one and then the other.
all right. And this was a very loud conversation, so the rest of you were definitely able to hear it if you're nearby. What's everyone else doing? Anyone else in particular getting food?
You
I
know,
mean, of course.
eat.
Yep.
Pray.
There's been another round of. There's a lot more of like the turkey legs and types of things out now. Lots of crab. There's another. Looks like the crab racing's been ceased, as not many people were doing it. So you see, there's a few platters of crab that looks like it's been recently cooked out on some of the bigger tables of food. That.
Puffin ate my crab.
Puffin ate my crab too.
It is true.
Ooh, what about a
then,
puffin stuffed with crab?
You leave Puffin Daddy out of this.
I wasn't talking about Puffin Daddy. I just was talking about some other anonymous puffin that we don't know and
Okay.
no one will miss.
I will say too, from the food court area here, you don't see that Inquisitor guy because looks like he's, as you know, Rudigar, that he's been kind of trying to avoid Alistar. So you don't, like, as you look around and scan, like, you don't see the Inquisitor immediately while you're at the food court.
Yeah.
Well,
He's probably got the thing.
Yeah.
yeah.
Or if nothing else, he doesn't want to get into a scuffle with the Echo Warden. It seems like those two groups kind of get into a bit of dust up in between things.
So when did the Inquisitor tell the family that he was coming back?
He said after nightfall.
Is it nightfall?
It is getting pretty close to that.
Okay. Yeah.
The sun's just a little bit above the horizon. It's kind of making it pink and red in the sky.
I'll grab some food that I can take with me and a couple drinks, and I'll head back to that burnt out house so I can keep an eye on things.
Okay.
Yep. I'll go with you.
One thing too that Ballastar definitely mentioned while talking to John is that it's pretty rare for Inquisitors to travel alone, especially if they're the farther out that they go. They're usually in groups.
So we're gonna have to mug a few of them, is what I'm hearing.
Or this
My
dude's not a real inquisitor.
That could also be.
Either one. All right, you guys make it over to the burnt out house. You're waiting for nightfall.
Yeah.
Anything in particular that you're doing while you're waiting, or just kind of just staking it out, watching?
If there's like wood and shit, maybe some burnt out furniture, I'll be
Yeah,
kind of setting up like a little spot so we've got some cover, but also so I got set myself up a little like hunter's blind, so I can see in that direction. I can shoot
Sure.
for my cover, but yeah, hopefully I won't be super
yeah,
noticed.
and you're able to do that pretty easily. Like it's burnt out. It looks like they cleared out some of the stuff. You don't see anything like valuable, but there's some partially burnt away like curtains and things, and even some of like the track that they were on. So
Okay.
you're able to set up some burnt up curtains to kind of look through and shoot through. That works pretty good as a blind.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's what I'll
definitely
do.
kind of the same, but I feel like I might go for like a little further down the street or something. That way we're not all bunched up.
Okay.
Let's
Yeah,
find somewhere inconspicuous to be.
Sure, and it's pretty flat, but a lot of these houses are pretty close together too. And every so often, there's like little, just piles of boxes here and there in some of these alleyways and things. So there are lots of just little places to hide between houses. Definitely able to find something like that. As you're out doing that, Dan, you see first that the one of the city people is going around. They've got like a really long, kind of like a torch stick for lighting lanterns. They're just going down the street, just lighting those as it's getting dark or about to get dark. Dan sees that first, and then they pass by this house that you guys are in.
Yeah, I figure I'm just hunkered down behind like a windowsill thing.
Okay.
Is Gareth, are you just with us, or?
Yeah, I think I'm just trying to stay off. Like I'm no help right now in this scenario.
You mean fist fighting an evil dude with a fur coat?
Wait, are we already in combat? Wait.
No, not
Not
yet.
yet.
Not
But we're going
Yeah,
to
so-
be.
Soon.
Yeah, no,
Soon.
I'm just staying back.
Okay. You watch my 6 while I watch our 12.
Mm.
That works
Yeah.
for sure. More time passes, the red starts to turn more gray, gets a little bit darker. And that you see kind of on the far where there's like some trees and some cliffs off the side or way off in the outside of the town. You see the line of the sun like moving along them as it's getting to nightfall. Gets dark, and the only light you see is it's dim light with these torches and these like lanterns along the street. But further you get into the alleyways, it's pretty dark. But definitely on the path in the street, you can see. Looks like the library. You hear her moving some stuff around, kind of again inside. She's got all the shutters and things boarded up. But it doesn't look like she's really reinforced the front door. Has anyone? I don't know if anyone told her what your guys' plan was.
No, it's better if she
I thought
doesn't
we
know.
told him that we're basically gonna like figure it out.
Yeah, that's pretty much where it's at.
We
I
got
think you
this,
guys were
don't worry.
talking about like intervene while she was handing him off. She's like, "Please no, they will blame me."
Yeah.
So she just
Yeah,
asked that you guys do things after they're out of her hands and separate her from it.
Yeah, I think that's more or less the idea. Even though I don't think it's gonna work out the way she thinks it will.
Right. I'll say Dan, since you're the furthest down the street, and I guess the other three of you are in this house that's burnt out, kind of catty corner. You're the first one that hears this, Dan, which is, it sounds like horses. You hear them kind of trotting along the stone path. Can't tell how many at first, and as you're able to kind of like peek down, it looks like there's 3 horses. You see a familiar bulky coat on the person up front, and then you see 2 people on the horses behind them are heavily armored. They've got big helms that are kind of concealing their face, and that's definitely not how he's just wearing like pretty nice looking clothes with this thing. But these are people that they've got pretty dark, it's like red and black armor, a helm that obscures their face except for this a really narrow slit across their eyes. And this might be the first time you've ever seen Catherine Inquisitor in their like full armor. Probably everyone except for John. And you notice it's kind of this like eerie looking, it looks like the metal is almost melted slightly. It's like this almost crown type shape on the front of their mask, but it's just slightly melted down to the sides. It's pretty sinister looking. It has
shit.
this like really
Lollygaggers just threw a
sharp
raid
angled
our
point
way.
on their chin.
Hello, lollygaggers.
Hello.
Hello.
You see that first. They start to pass you by. And you think you probably wouldn't have noticed this if Rudigar hadn't mentioned something about it. But it looks like there's a pool of a shadow underneath these 3 horses that are like not lining up with the light as it passes you by there, Dan.
Great. So it might not be just 3.
And the rest of you see this as well. You hear the horses trotting along, and you're able to see through your blind that there are 3 horses. The back 2 are heavily armored, and you see our Inquisitor that you saw in the crowd earlier.
So is it
Riding up front.
one large shadow under the horses or 3 individual shadows that aren't lining up?
You see that there's like you see the shadows that should be there from the horses and things that are being cast as they're going by these lights, but there's kind of like this darker singular mass that's like under the 3 of them, and it's almost just like perfectly circling their group.
Okay. This is gonna be a fight.
Yeah.
They move closer. They go past where you guys are at and stop a little bit further towards the town on the other side of the library, and they dismount their horses. The 2 in the armor dismount first, and then they are holding the reins of their horses. They have their hands like on these swords to their side, keeping their horses steady. And on the back of the horse, the other Inquisitor guy never dismounts, but he just kind of directs his horse and points it towards the library. You hear him call out. He yells, and his voice seems louder than it should be. It doesn't like you can't really see him exerting his voice as much from how loud it is. But there's just this booming voice of, "It's time. Hand over what you're due." And after a little bit, you hear the door start to creak open. You see the head of that elderly librarian woman kind of poke through, and she sees a lot of them. And she closes the door again, and you hear some scuffling. She comes back, and she has like a small, kind of wrapped up parcel, and hands it to them. Walks down the steps to give it up to him on his horse.
Now we beat them up.
We wait until after they get the stuff and leave, and then we attack them from behind.
Okay. Alright.
Say, as the doors open into the library, and she's walking down the steps and she's handing this parcel up. A similar kind of thing that you saw earlier in the day, Rudigar, as the shadow kind of congeals and moves around a little bit. You see it waving itself up the shadows on the steps, and it looks like it's kind of weaving its way towards that open door to the library.
I'll hit the other ones. Like one of them shadow things is trying to slip into the library.
Oh,
Should I try and take it now?
Might just be checking to see if that's everything.
Or, I mean, it
They're
very well
going to-
could be.
Yeah.
or snap her neck.
Yeah, or they're going to torch the place anyway for not giving it over to begin with. I don't know, Lonan. This is your fucking territory here.
Well, you said it was like a dog. So I don't think it's gonna fire unless it knocks something over inside.
I don't know if I can punch a shadow. I don't know.
I shot one with an arrow, so I mean, punching it should be possible.
Okay, good point. Good point.
Why don't we wait till they leave and then we'll barge in there, take care of that shadow, and then chase them down.
That sounds
Yeah.
like a plan.
Yeah.
All right.
As you guys are kind of hushedly discussing this, and then Dan, you see that as well. It's a little bit
Yeah.
harder to see from how far down the street you are, but you do see this shadow kind of like snake its way through the
And
darker parts
honestly,
of the shadow. of
what
the
I might be
steps.
doing at this point is working to kind of get around to where they're at, since they went further past me, correct?
Yeah. So because you were farther down the side that they came on, so
Yeah.
pretty much they moved past you, and they're like
Yeah.
pretty much right in front of the library now.
Yeah, I probably kind of just moved behind the houses to try and get on the other side of them now.
Without crossing the street, like
Yeah,
back behind the houses on your side. Okay, yeah. I'll say it's pretty easy to do that. And it's dark, but there's enough dim light being cast. There's like another street on the other side of this row of houses. You're like the alley behind them. You're able to slink your way down. And they seem to be pretty focused on this interaction, the three. Like, you don't really see the other two armored, like knight-looking people. They don't really seem to be looking around very much. They're very trained on this interaction. And then you also see, after a little bit, you saw the shadow kind of snaking its way up, making it reaching for the door. And once it seems to hit like the darkness and the shadow being cast from inside of the house, you see it snap off from the main shadow underneath all of these horses and like sinks back up. So it looks like, and you do still see a shadow, a little bit smaller now, underneath the rest of the ones outside.
Go time?
You don't hear anything from the house, and she pulls her hands away and she's like, I swear that's all I have. It's just these books. I had some other things a long time ago, but they're just maps and things. I haven't lost it. And he doesn't really seem to be paying that much attention to her, but as she's saying this, he opens up this parcel and looks through them, closes it back up, nods, and he hands it to one of the knights behind them, which they set it into a satchel on the back of the one of the back horses. And he nods at her. He says, well, I'm glad you made the reasonable decision and we didn't have to do anything
I'll be right back.
drastic.
Okay.
With that, you hear glass break from inside the library. And right as that happens, they kind of heel the side of their horses and start to like turn to leave. With that glass breaking, she kind of snaps her head back to the open door and hears something. She calls out. What I called the kid Jameson because of the Spider-Man joke, I think. So we're gonna go with that. She's like, Jameson, and she runs inside.
Okay.
Looks like they're about to leave. So this is pretty much right when our turn-based bit of this encounter breaks out.
All right.
You see that they're turning to leave. Something triggered inside the house. Your glass breaking. Librarian lady seems very concerned. She's running into the door. The like caster guy or the main inquisitor guy has like started to turn his horse. The other two are still dismounted, but it looks like they're about to mount onto their horses.
Whichever one has the satchel, I want to like down their horse.
Okay. Going for the horse. Okay.
The stuff is in a bag on the horse, right?
Yeah. They have like a saddlebag kind of like on the back of the horse.
And I was gonna try to use my cantrip to yoink the satchel from the horse anyway. So.
Oh well, I'll let you do that first then.
Sure. And
that might be even better.
And we're doing this. There's kind of two types of encounters in this. There's turn-based, and then there's like narrative. This is more in the narrative because the other side is not aware of you yet. So you guys are acting kind of in whichever order you want. But as soon as they become aware of you, then it goes into discrete, like there's initiative and stuff.
Yeah.
So who wants to do what first? Dan, you called out you're going for the horse.
Yeah, but if we got a plan to maybe secretly yoink the stuff, that might be even better. Because we might be able to steal it with a low interaction.
Yeah. Also, you've got like your bow drawn back and you're kind of aiming it, but then you do see John's character, Lonan, moving up, and they're about to do their magic thing. I'll let you do your cantrip roll then, John.
All right, cool.
I'm going to say, and you're trying to do this like stealthily, secretly, right?
Yeah.
It's where they're not aware that it's been stolen.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to say with that, it's going to take 2 successes.
Okay, fair.
Fucking Christ.
Or 4.
my
Okay.
gosh.
4 will do.
Yeah, with that, you don't even have to go that far out. Like you kind of peek out a little bit from the windowsill. They're all looking away. And what does this look like as you're doing your?
It's basically I basically like throw a web, like a Spider-Man web, like from my hand, and then I wink and yoink it back.
Okay, you cast it. It goes like above them a little bit and slinks down, perfectly attaches to the satchel or to like the books inside
parcel.
of the satchel, not the bag itself. It hasn't been closed yet, and it's just pulled straight up and out. There's a little bit of a whoosh, but it doesn't seem like they heard that or noticed that. And it's pulled back over to you, up into the air. And Dan, you see this, like you're kind of training your bow, and you just see this web with a little bit of like this kind of magic sheen to it, and snatch it out of the bag.
All right, then I guess we hold up.
Yeah.
And see if they just leave.
Yeah.
And then maybe we got to help the librarian out.
Yeah.
I have to do a roll. I think I set this up where I can use the party inventory for this macro. They're going to push that. Do you guys see that roll?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Oh, well. I didn't want you to know how many dice I was rolling. Yeah, with that, it looks like the shadow is like still kind of moving around underneath the group.
Damn, see you later,
but
Bert.
no one seems to react to this as you've snatched this bag. And the librarian, like nobody's really looking that direction. They're all starting to turn. These knights like get on their horses and start to turn, and they're leaving like towards town, which at this point most of the festival is kind of wrapped up. There's some people that are still like closing up their stalls and things, but most of the festivities have ended, and it looks like they're going to ride like through kind of the center of town and then out as they're turning to leave. You don't see the shadow that left and went inside the library leave, though. It does not rejoin this shadow. And with that, is anyone doing anything else? It looks like they're turning to move, and
I think we gotta wait for them to leave at this point.
Yeah.
You hear more breaking. You hear some faint like furniture move around and slide inside the library.
Sure.
You hear the librarian like crying out. Sounds like there's some commotion going inside, and then they ride off.
Okay, because now we can just be concerned citizens who are responding to screams in the night.
I agree with that. Yeah. Once they're riding
happen
off,
to
and we go.
steal books.
They're down. You hear them. They're moving much quicker. Like they kind of slowly approach the library, but now they're heading off as fast as they can move through the town. Now it seems like
they've gotten what they want.
Yeah. Yep. They're riding out. You see them disappear around a bend towards like where the center of town was. Commotion's still open. The door is like open, more ajar. You see lots of light moving around from inside. Hear screams. What do you guys do?
Run in.
Now it's time to go be heroes.
All right. You all break out of your cover and run towards. You make it inside this library, and you see, similar to what Rudiger described earlier, this shadow-looking dog thing, but it's a lot bigger than the one that Rudiger described. It seems to be more like a wolf, but larger, and there's like this a lit candle that's been spilled over on the table. And it's in some oil, so there's like a little bit of this flame going on the table. And you see that's where that flame is. It's almost carving like this semicircle out of the mass of this shadow wolf thing, but it's still very much maintaining its form. As it's swiping at stuff, it's ripping paintings off the wall, it's taking gouges out of bookshelves, just making a mess of the place. And you see the librarian, she's got like a broom posed up, and Jameson's behind her, and she's batting at it. It looks like it's taking a few chunks at it.
I will shoot it with an arrow.
I want to punch it.
All right.
Teamwork.
All right.
Okay. So those of you, we're going to go into turn-based now. So everyone that wants to go for initiative, you do so. There's pretty much 3 phases for player turns. There's people that roll initiative and pass, people that don't take initiative, and people that fail initiative. It goes in that order. And then in between those two, there's enemy fast actions, enemy slow actions. So if people are trying to act quickly and get in there as fast as they can, you can take initiative for that. And that is just a physical saving throw. You select the stat that is highest on your macro between your 2 physical, whichever, either your brawn or your agility, and you just roll that flat.
Okay. I got a success.
Okay.
Why does the macro not want to work with me?
Do you have the token selected? Your token?
I thought I did.
Roll the right number of dice. There we go. I got a success.
So let's you roll.
I rolled it as Alex. That might be why.
Do I have the wrong token? I think that's your...
I noticed it hasn't updated my name.
You'll have to delete the token and re-add it to the table to get that happen.
I can do that real quick. Let me drag your... I didn't just delete your character, did I?
You did. It's gone forever.
I don't believe so.
Oh no!
There we go.
That was our first player death.
There we go, Gareth. Okay.
Yeah, this thing just had a stroke and died.
Yep.
There we go.
The big chase by the vicious monster. But
How
then the
dare.
animator had a stroke and died.
Oh shit.
And
Oh
they were
no.
saved.
Classic.
You should be able to roll. I think that was me selecting your sheet there, and the macro went up for me. Do you see that D6 pool macro at the bottom?
If you click the little folder.
Yeah, that's the one I'm using.
Okay.
Do you guys click the image or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You gotta drag it into your little bar first, and then you can click on it in the bar.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
There we
like
go.
browse macro directory, drag that to your bar. When you click on it and your token selected, it should pop up with like a little window.
There we go. Okay. All right.
Cool.
All right.
Yep,
What am
and
I
then-
rolling?
So you're doing an initiative roll, which is a saving throw. Saving throws are just you pick the highest of your attribute for whatever type of saving throw it is. So this is a physical. So either your agility or your brawn, whichever one's highest, just select that, then hit roll.
Damn.
Oof.
Hmm.
So it looks like John and Chuck, you pass initiative.
Yes.
And everyone else, you go after the monster. So John and Chuck, you guys go pretty much at the same time. So whoever wants to go first, you can
Go ahead, Chuck.
decide.
All right. Yeah, I'm taking a shot. Select my token again. And this is an agility ranged. Ka-chow. I pull a success. I'm going to risk it and push that.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. Oh.
Oh,
no. Owie.
Ouch.
Ow.
So, and this is a ranged attack roll, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you get another success. That's good. So now click on the impact roll macro. You're going to do 2 dice. Probably a d6 is your weapon size. And you can hit roll there.
Double death.
8.
That's your damage.
I am
Okay.
now at 1 physical.
Oof.
Did we recover any physical during that intervening time? Or any?
We haven't taken a short rest. I guess technically you should have been able to take a short rest, which would have been you heal 1 in every pool.
Okay.
I'm going to take that. That way I'm up to 2 in physical.
Yep.
That hurts.
Yeah, that's some ouchies right there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's rough. Yeah, you're like aiming, and a part of the shadow kind of like whips out. It's like the tail of this wolf thing takes a shot at you as you're aiming at it. Your arrow strikes. It looks like it goes through it for a little bit. And it seems like it doesn't make full contact, but it definitely hits something, and you see the trajectory of the arrow is diverted as it goes through the mass of it. So it struck something. Doesn't feel like it was fully effective, but definitely dealt some damage to it, and it kind of reacts and roars back out at that. Take a swipe at you. John, what are you doing?
Yeah. How big is the fire at this point?
It's like a small, like basically it was like a lantern or a candle that spilled over onto lantern oil on the table. So it hasn't really grown that much.
The curtains, are there like a heavier fabric?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to try to use my cantrip to like yoink a curtain down and like try to like smother the fire.
Okay. Yeah. Roll it.
Hang on. That's why. Yeah. Go.
one success, and that's enough. Like you're going out. It's not a big fire. They're pretty big curtains. You're able to whip it onto it, and it's not out with one success, but it's definitely contributing to it. You don't see the fire like catching the curtains on. So
okay, cool.
But looks like it's not spreading anymore.
Okay.
All right, and then I think because we're in turn-based combat too, so the other thing to keep in mind is that you on your turn you get 2 swift actions and 1 main action. So your main action is pretty much anything that's a roll, and then I think where do I have that at? Is that in mechanics? I updated. Oh, I haven't updated the fast and main actions yet. It's in the sheet.
Dare you, Joe?
I forgot about that. In the turn-based encounters, I just paste that in real quick so you guys can see what else you can do. Clear formatting there. Oh no! What happened? How to do that?
You broke everything.
I broke everything. Yeah. Okay.
Ruined forever.
Forever.
Oh, I hit paste again. I didn't hit. Okay. Cool. That's not the save button. That's an image button. Cool. So yeah, now in the mechanics journal entry, which I believe everyone can see. Maybe I need to share that to Alex again.
What screen was it in?
In the journal section.
So if you go over to the journal section, mechanics, and then there's encounter mechanics, you'll see actions, and there's swift actions and main actions, or swift or fast actions. And pretty much the way swift actions work is you can do any 2 of those, but you can't do 2 of the same. So you can't choose move twice, but you can choose move and drop, or move and stand prone. Like do any 2 swift actions on your turn as long as they're different, and then you can do 1 main action, which is either another swift action or a skill test, a spell test, something like that.
Okay.
So if there's anything that you guys want to do with your swift actions,
I want to move over to like where I dump the curtain so I can like start trying to stomp it.
Sure. Yeah, that's definitely within your zone. You're able to move over, position there. Yeah. Anything you're doing there, Chuck, with yours?
No.
Okay, that's fine. With that, now it goes to this creature's turn. So it sees the 4 of you have run up. 2 of you have attacked, though, and it seems like it was kind of focusing on the librarian, but now it's got some more targets there. And Chuck, you dealt damage to it.
I did. 8.
So you did. We'll see what it targets.
Yeah, go after Chuck.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I am in terrible shape. All self-inflicted, pretty much.
It is.
It is. Actually, it is all self-inflicted.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing has hit anyone yet.
I think it was last time too.
A lot of
Yeah. Getting drunk.
I was at 5, and then I healed, and then I hurt myself.
It was the pushing. Yep. It's going to make. It's 2 swipes. Oh boy. Push that. Then it's another one. Oh, it's not going to push that.
Well, come on.
Okay, so it lashes out twice. Once at Chuck and then once at John. And you see Chuck, for you, it goes and it tries to bite at you. And then John, it does like that same kind of tail swipe thing. It like moves around the light. You doused the fire, which is good because you stopped fire from spreading, but it looks like that kind of bit that was taken out by the light from this thing is like now filled back in.
You made him stronger.
Yeah. I mean, Yeah, it's fine.
You've empowered
It's
him.
fine.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't affect the macro rolls, but does affect just random. Why does it? Why does it not? Oh, it's because I made my own roll logic. It's not actually doing a dice roll on the fancy macro, but for the impact roll, it is using rolling. That's why. Okay. So for Chuck, it's going to deal 3 physical damage to you, and to John, it's going to deal 2 physical damage.
Ow.
That takes me down to 0.
He's down to 0. Okay. With that, you are going to
Dead.
do because you haven't taken. Actually, you did get 1 fatigue because you took the drunk condition earlier in the day. So you should be at 1 fatigue. So, because you're already at 1 fatigue, on your character sheet, go to where it says fatigue and tick that up to 1 because it should have been at 1. And then click the red highlighted fatigue with that. And you didn't get a 1. So that means you had no hexes, which is immediate. So you take an immediate condition.
Does that bump my fatigue up by 1?
Yeah, and then now you bump your fatigue up 1.
Okay.
And you get prone, which is fitting. Okay. So it just knocks you prone because it jumps at you and it's trying to bite you, so it knocks you over.
Does that reset my physical?
It does not. So immediate does not reset it, but if you take a lingering, it resets the pool that it affected, and then if you take a critical, it resets all of them. Okay. So kind of like the major and minor in heart.
Sure.
But immediate effects do not reset your health.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're knocked prone, which is not that bad, but it basically gives them an extra die if they continue to do melee attacks on you. And it's pretty easy to stand from prone. You just spend one of your swift actions when it gets back to your turn. With that, it goes to Dan and Alex. You saw this thing jump at Chuck. It is now on top of him, trying to bite into him. You saw it sink its teeth like into his shoulder a little bit.
That's time to run in there and attempt to stab.
Yeah, I want to run in there and punch it.
Okay, yeah. Whoever wants to go first.
You go first?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have your token selected, do the D6 pool macro. And then for you have the monk thing, so you can have wisdom as your attribute.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then,
switch that. Bam.
Yep. And you can do melee.
Ooh, don't push that.
Probably don't want to push it though. Says when you push, everyone will hurt you, and it's piercing. So protection normally reduces the damage that you're taking, but not on pushes. Push pierces through whatever protection.
So I don't want to push that.
Yeah, probably not. But you still got 1 success, which is what you need. So now you can do your impact roll macro. And just leave it on 1d6, number dice 1d6, and then hit roll, and whatever that is how much damage it does. And with that, like you punch at it, and it feels like it doesn't really do, like it's this shadowy thing, you know. And you punch, and you don't feel any connection. It doesn't feel like you did enough damage to like make it through to wherever the core of this thing is. And then Dan.
But maybe we can stab?
Your magic sword.
Yeah, I know. Well, maybe. Now I gotta see what's going on here. It looked like it let me do my thing earlier. Did I change my... Oh, I'm on the wrong person now. I was like, this doesn't look right.
What's going on?
Yeah, make sure you have the right token for sure. And then if you have multiple tokens, I have no idea how it selects which token if you have multiple, but it seems to always be the wrong one. Yep, and there you go. So you got 1 success. So 1 success. But and then this is you're doing like the melee cantrip?
Yep.
Okay.
That is correct.
How does that look for you? You've got your hilt as your casting focus.
In this case, it's just going to be a sword.
Okay. So sword grows out of the end of your hilt. You take your swipe at this shadow thing. Roll your impact die.
Hey, that's
6.
all right.
Hey. So it feels like it takes a bit for it to connect. Like you're in the mass of it, but you feel no resistance for a bit until you hit right kind of where the center of the shadow is. You definitely feel it connect with something. Your blade slows a bit, drags. You feel it hit something, and it reacts to that and kind of roars at you. So you deal some damage. This thing's looking very hurt. And also actually with that too. So there in encounters, there's a threshold where most things either try to run away or you hit a point where you can end the combat without taking any harm for leaving it early. So this, you get into here, looks like it is at the point where this thing looks like it might want to run and retreat. It looks like it's aware it's being overwhelmed. And you get the sense that it's not just here to kill you guys. Like there's something else it wants to do. And now that it's losing and it's dying, it's trying to revert to whatever other thing it wants to do. So you see it's kind of looking for ways to get out. Goes around to the next round. You guys can do initiative if you want to, or if not, then if you don't have a lot,
I'll go initiative.
I'll go initiative.
And then Chuck, you asked me a question in the rules. What happens when you have 0 HP? So your health pool never affects your rolls at all. Conditions are the only thing that affect your rolls. And if you take stat damage, direct stat damage, that will. I think you're
Still muted. There we go. I'm unmuted now.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was here.
But yeah,
talking to the storm.
your hit points. Pretty much the only thing your health do is make you take conditions, and then conditions affect how you act. And then if you take direct stat damage, that will reduce your attributes, and you don't roll as many dice. You can be at 0 in all of your health pools, and you still roll at max dice.
In the rules, you may want to point that out. I wasn't able to find it right off the bat.
Okay, yeah, I probably should specify that because not every game is like that. For sure. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it looks like Dan, you got a pass, or did you? Is that for your? Okay.
That's for initiative.
Cool. And then Alex, if you don't do initiative, then you don't have to do initiative, but basically it's decided if you go at the beginning or the end of the round, and if not, you go in the middle if you don't do initiative.
I won't do it then.
Okay. So with that, looks like Dan and John go first, and then Chuck's going to go last, but Alex gets to act before that. So Dan or John, you see this thing's kind of looking for a way out. It hasn't moved yet. It's still on top of Chuck, who is still prone, which we'll say that's probably why you failed your initiative there, Chuck. You're like,
That's fair.
Yeah, underneath this thing.
Absolutely fair.
Well, as
ahead,
far
Dan.
as I'm concerned, that's where it's going to die.
Oof, 2 damage,
it.
but you got 2 successes.
2 successes.
That's good. Yeah. All right. Roll that damage, and you get to do 2 dice at d6 this time instead of 1.
That was about to be 12d6.
6 damage again. That's enough to kill it.
Yeah.
Nice.
With that.
I imagine it's just I got that contact point and then just win again.
Yep. And the second time through, you feel like you struck pretty much almost exactly where you struck the last time, and you get less resistance. And this shadow splits into 2 pieces and just and fades into smoke. Chuck, you're underneath it. The smoke kind of gets your mouth and your face, But this thing dies.
Nice.
You're able to finish stamping out the fire that's on on the table there. And yeah, combat is over. It's quiet. It doesn't seem like any other fires are spreading. The librarian she's like kind of retreated into the back corner with their son behind her, or her grandson behind her. She's like, is it over? What was that thing?
For now, it's over.
We have vanquished the demon.
No idea. I am a little concerned that it won't be reporting back, but
Yeah, that was something of the Inquisitors.
Well, when I shot that last one, I don't.
They didn't seem to notice anything out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
Right.
Clearly, it was here to do
saw one
something.
Of these, you fought these before?
I have
earlier today.
Yeah, it was around your house earlier.
Earlier today, outside of my house.
Yeah,
there was one of these outside.
Yeah,
it's not safe out there. Not at all.
I wish I would have known that, but thank you for killing them.
We didn't want to worry you.
Okay, that's fair, I suppose.
Don't worry, they won't be back.
Or they will
be.
Not if we punch them first.
They got what they wanted, so
they
at least
did.
they'll be.
It's a terrible shame they got away with what they wanted.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I handed them the parcel. I guess this thing must have switched in or slipped in behind me or something.
Yeah, it slipped in while you were handing it over.
I didn't see or hear anything. I just heard the glass break and
they
Jameson
moved through the shadows.
They were the shadows, like Lamont Cranston.
Yeah.
That's the reference I don't get.
He's the shadow. I think that's his name. John, is that his name?
It might be. It's been a long time.
I don't know.
But I should rewatch.
Yeah, Lamont Cranston, the shadow.
Is there anything else of value here that they'd be after?
Not if they're burning the place down.
She looks around. She's looking around and she sees like all the bookshelves like kind of slashed and stuff, and she's like, I think the only thing they wanted was those tomes. But I don't know. They usually usually people don't get attacked. I don't hear about people being hurt if they give them what they want. I was very surprised that they would do this.
They really wanted that.
Particularly overzealous.
I mean, I don't think the intent was to burn the place down. So that's what they wanted. They would have done that.
I mean, they sent an evil monster. It started a fire. I would argue.
Well, it didn't start like a fire. Like that was manageable.
Yeah, I think they were just trying to assassinate her. Just a normal assassination.
It was tearing at the books and stuff. You know, like, is there something behind them?
No, there should be. I don't know of any other things here that they would care about. These are just, other random books of like history and things. Nothing related to the East. That's usually all.
You looked behind your bookshelves.
That's where I was storing these books before.
Okay.
Maybe it smelled the lingering scent of them or something.
Oh, so there's some tome residue back there, probably.
It could be. They were there for quite a while, and again, they seem to only be able to find these tomes. They don't ever seem to be able to clue in on any maps or anything else. It's always these books that they are able to track down. But I suppose, thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Kind of done a little more.
Was expected to be attacked. Not sure why you were here exactly, but I'm very grateful that you were.
Mm-hmm.
We're kindly folk
I
that
wasn't
way.
expecting them to.
Yeah, we don't trust them.
Oh, I
That's-
certainly don't
that's
trust them. I'm
fair.
from their region.
Yeah, we definitely kind of walked up on them, like pretty much strong arming you. So we ran in here.
Yep.
We knew something was
Well,
afoot.
Very much appreciate it. I don't think anyone else in this town would have cared. Yeah,
That's
don't
unfortunate.
seem to ever go out of their way for us. But
Well, be
I
careful.
guess when I get things cleaned up, you've always got a home here if you're ever in town again. But
Appreciate it.
Don't worry, we'll take
he
it.
looks around and like one of the bookshelves just like falls and a few books like tumble off it. Like it'll be a little bit. But very much appreciate what you've done.
Yeah.
Our pleasure.
Yeah.
You hear hooves, like horse hooves again.
It's probably time
From
for us to
outside.
leave. Maybe out the back. She got a back door?
I have a back
Everybody
window.
has a back door.
There's like a window kind of above, like there's like a window in the kitchen counter, like of the very back of. Like, it's like,
I'll go with
it's
that.
a door.
I will take a peek out like a front window or something to see if they have returned.
You take a peek out, you see horse hooves, but not the Inquisitor. You see a centaur
Oh,
wearing a cowboy hat.
if it's him,
Oh,
you can always trust someone in a cowboy hat.
No.
yeah, I think that's accurate.
No?
No.
Oh, okay.
No?
I feel like I've heard of this person.
See,
Does
there's
he,
a bit
does
of
he
glinting
yah
metal.
or yeehaw?
I don't know.
He's an apiarist, so he behaws.
Oh my.
Oh no.
I will open the front door and just step outside then.
You step out and you hear the clopping of his hooves kind of stop, and he rests his hand on his belt. You see there's like a bit of a glint of metal. Looks like he has maybe a revolver or something on his side. It's glinting a
Hands
little
up.
bit.
Hey, buddy.
And you see that he's like not really looking up at you, but he's like looking around on the ground. It's like, you see any of those weird shadow things?
Yeah.
Yeah,
there
we
was-
just killed one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just beat one up.
I just did too. There were two that split out into town square. There's people cleaning up, and I don't know where they came from, but
Uh,
they
The
seemed to-
Inquisitors.
Yeah.
Fucking
what he said.
Inquisitors.
We all just start telling.
Mhm.
Immediately.
Inquisitors.
Yeah. Inquisitors.
Curious. He looks around a little bit and takes his hand off. He crosses his arms and looks at you guys. Like, that's the library, isn't it? What are
Yep.
y'all doing at the
Oh.
library at this time?
Well,
Trying to save it.
yeah, the Inquisitors tried to burn it down with one of those ghost dog things.
Don't know
Oh.
why. I think they hate books.
Yeah.
They hate some books.
Mm.
Usually they don't come out here that far. She must have done something that pissed him off. And she kind of like peeks her head around, and she like makes eye contact with him, kind of rolls her eyes at this guy and closes the door and leaves you guys to him.
Well, she gave them what
Well.
they wanted. So,
Mm.
And
He was in possession of some of them basin tomes they have.
well, was.
I don't know why they want those things. I don't know why they want those things. And he kind of gestures at the librarians. Like, that's all stuff I
books. People like
keep my
books and
tail out
books,
of.
right?
Scary
Whatever
books.
they did, I don't want any part of it. I stay out of that. But
Don't be doing that
Wise.
dare magic stuff.
Ah,
Yeah.
terrible, that magic stuff.
Mm.
that's what this thing's for. And he starts spinning his revolver in his hand, like, no magic needed. Puts it away.
Three-
Oh shit!
Yep, definitely no magic needed.
It's a little touchy. There's no safety on these.
Literally a
Somebody
hair
call the
trigger.
sheriff. I've been shot.
Just a hair.
Puts back. He's like, well, those shadow things gave us quite a hell. Battlestar took out both of them, but you seem to not be doing too well.
What'd you say? Who took what out?
Battlestar galacted them.
Battlestar, our
Is that a Decepticon?
warden.
Oh, okay.
I don't think that's his real name.
Okay.
But that's what he calls himself, at least, and no one really wants to question it.
No, okay.
Why would you?
It's just Battlestar when he introduced himself. No last name.
Yes.
I don't think he has any paperwork or anything. He just totally gets by that warden emblem he's got on him. But
Yeah.
that's the life those guys live.
Yeah. Sounds pretty
But-
crazy.
True.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, they went that way, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not going after them. If they got what they wanted and they left, like,
I'm out.
I'm not
Understandable.
stirring up anymore.
Hey,
I don't know
and
how
if-
many more of those dog things they've got.
If they come wandering back into town or something, well, you know what they look like.
True. They have definitely done enough to the town at this point that they won't be welcome back, but
There you go.
not worth it. Go and track them down. Probably going up
Yeah.
north anyways.
Probably.
Yeah. But it's impressive you were able to deal with one of those on your own, though. I was watching, or helping Battlestar.
Watching.
yeah.
I mean, helping.
You guys definitely would have heard gunshots at the range.
That's what I'm wondering. I was like, I feel like we would
Like
have heard
you heard no gunshots earlier.
Helping. He was there for moral support.
Okay.
Definitely was helping Battlestar
Oh,
with those.
I'm
two,
sure you
but-
did. Did
They're
a great
definitely
job.
loaded, and he doesn't just carry them for show.
Yeah, but, it's kind of dangerous to shoot guns at people, and so
Crowded area, you gotta know it's behind your target.
it's dark out, and they're
Yeah.
made out of darkness, like.
Yeah, you might
It's
have fired
fine.
them up with that.
It's fine. You don't,
Yeah.
you don't gotta.
I get it. I get it.
I mean, I'm not. It's not excuses. I'm just saying. You know.
Yeah. Hey, that's just good etiquette if you're using a ranged weapon. Know what's behind your target. And if it's dark out,
right.
you might not know. So just, do it.
That's what I taught myself after accidents.
Yeah. takes practice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks at the lot of you and says, like, well, I have been looking for some people to help me out with something.
No, is it out of town? Because we were just getting ready to go.
I don't do horseshoes.
Does it pay well?
Good pay well. There's a few bounties out for it. I think they're all the same thing. I would do it myself, but
Obviously. Yeah. You got responsibilities.
Wait.
I think it's in a cave, and I can't do caves.
Okay.
That's fair.
Well, I
He
mean,
kind of just gestures at his centaur for him.
Yeah.
I suppose before we would consider taking a job from you, I mean, I don't even think we know your name. Like, I'm Rudigar.
Oh, my apologies. And he takes his cowboy hat. Hugh Donahue.
Hugh. That is not the name that I had heard for you.
What name did you hear from me?
There was some farmer outside of town. I could have sworn that he said that your name was Mr. Hands.
No, that's my brother.
Oh,
Good. Okay. Just curious.
I thought your name might be Mr. Ed. So
I prefer that
Nope.
one.
Got this jar of peanut butter here.
I think we got an adventure for both of us.
He puts his hat back on. He's like, yeah, I try to take bounties here and there, but these things always seem to be in caves, places I can't go to, and
Yeah.
Limits your
pain
options.
sometimes. Yeah,
Sure.
but that's what adventurers like yourselves are good for. You know, I take a cut, obviously. For you would have never known about it. And he pulls out. He reaches into. He's got like a saddlebag, and his 3 of these posters out. They're all like monster hunting things or like job postings that he's torn down. He kind of points them at you. They all look to be like for the same thing, but from different areas. So I've been tracking this thing for a while. I think it's the same thing. So you get multiple bounties. They don't know that you already collected in other places.
That is true.
Those are my favorite kind.
One job, triple the reward.
Right?
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Absolutely. And because there's 3 places I've kind of figured out, I think it's somewhere off to the east, maybe a little bit to the south. But need help with it.
So
If you guys are interested,
triangulated where it's at. That's
I'd be interested.
That's a good word for that. It's like 3.
I just came up with
Copyright.
That's
Copyright
the
defenders of Cobalt.
True story.
kind of the ingenuity that we need around here.
That's what Gareth brings.
Ingenuity.
I love it.
Monk's well known for it.
And then he rolls it up, and he has all 3 like kind of rolled up, and points it towards you guys like, "Well, what do you say?"
I'm in.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's better than our alternative at the moment.
Which is
No job.
what was that?
Yep.
Yeah,
no job.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't know what that's like, but
It's not as
pleasure to
fun
do
as you
business
think.
with you guys. Sounds like it would not be. Yeah.
Unless you're independently wealthy. Then it's not so bad.
And
We're not.
We're not.
Not,
Yeah.
not in the least.
I need new socks.
All right, I'll take the papers.
Hands them to you. As you look at them, there's 3 depictions of pretty like grisly murder scenes of like people getting mauled and destroyed by these. And there's one of them has like a crude drawing, and the other 2 just have descriptions. And the 2 that have descriptions talk about like bodies that had been left bitten, torn apart, disemboweled, twisted. And then there's a crude depiction of what they think the monster looks like on the 3rd one. And it's this like humanoid figure. Their knees have an extra joint in them. They're kind of hunched, and they've got no features on their face.
I don't like that.
I agree.
Yeah, that's a
They've
good.
got big, long kind of claws with very short thumbs.
Okay. So we should get some sleep, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
And then if we can catch the Echo Warden before he heads out, maybe he's seen something like this.
I was going to ask him about that, but he was not in a work mood. It looked like when I tried to talk to him.
No, he was pretty far gone.
Yeah,
we
he
saw
was
him
super drunk.
earlier.
Yeah. We'll
Fair
get
enough.
them tomorrow. Now
Man
that
works
you've
hard.
given us the papers, we can do the rest of the legwork.
Yeah, for sure. I'll probably be here. I might be over in the next town, but depending on how long it takes. But and then he kind of describes where about. He's like, I bet if you head and describes like to the east for a bit, about a half a day travel east and then south off the road a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say we rest up and go out in the morning.
True story. Let's do it.
Yeah. All right. There's a few inns in town. You guys have been in town for a few days for this festival thing, so you already have lodgings and provisions. We'll say that's probably how Gareth knew all of you guys too. You'd been hanging out in the taverns and things.
I've been preaching the good talk of the House of Daggers.
Yeah.
You guys saw my skills.
Yeah. So for a long rest, I think no one has any. The only person that's taken a like condition from combat's you, Chuck, and it was an immediate one, so it's not persisting over to the next day. It was just it knocked you prone. So everyone's fatigue gets to reset, and on a long rest, you heal the. I believe it's the lower of the two of your stats in each pool, or the highest stat in one pool. So
nice. Okay.
If you had like a 5 and a 3, you can either do like 3 and everything, or whatever the lowest of your stats is, or you could choose just like the 5 in one of them.
So for me, since my low stat is a 2, I could get 2 in everything, or like
it's per the pool.
So okay, per the pool. Okay, so it'd be like a 3, and then a 2.
Yes,
I am
not
only
a big
down
difference, but
across the board.
Yeah, I'm only down in physical, so I'm taking
Take
the
it.
highest
Yeah, same.
physical. Yeah.
I'm fully healthed up.
Cool.
Yeah.
Alrighty, that resets, and then your fatigue should reset back to 0. And while your fatigue is at 0, it is impossible to take anything other than the immediate fallout there, or conditions.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. Next day rolls around. It was pretty dark. Like you went through the town square at night, and you didn't really see like too much of what commotion took place. You saw like a few things kind of knocked over here and there. But in the daytime, now that there's light, you see there's like a lot of people around the center of town. You see that there's like gouges in the stone, and a few of the like little shops and things, or a few of the stalls that have been set up have been kind of destroyed and pulled apart there. And you see there's like a big, not a big crowd, but a lot of people seem to be kind of crowded around Balistar, who's just kind of standing kind of proud. He's got a little bit of bags under his eyes, like maybe he's slightly hungover, but he's definitely a lot more present than he was the previous day. And people are asking him questions, and he's just gladly talking about how the fight went. And you see him kind of like doing poses and things, like talking about how the fight went. And it's like, and then it jumped up on me, and I grabbed it and pulled out my sword and stabbed the other. Just doing this big like showy thing. Everyone's eating it up.
Nice.
When he's got like a quiet moment, I'm gonna kind of sidle on up to him. Like, hey, Balistar.
Balistar.
Balistar. Yes. Yeah. Hey, we're gonna do a little job here for the I guess local constable here.
I work alone. I'm sorry.
No. I just wanted to get your professional take on this.
Sure.
Apparently, they're having. He thinks there's this creature that folks have. Yeah, we got kind of a drawing of it. And I'll pull out the drawing of it and be like, "You ever seen anything kind of like that?"
He looks through them, and you see the ones that have writing. He like just doesn't even look at them, and the one that has a picture, he like focuses on that. And he looks at that for a little bit, and he's like,
"It happens to the best of us."
And pulls away for a little bit. He's like, "Well, if you're unlucky, that's a Gresk."
Ooh, what's a
I'll
Gresk?
hand it back to you. They are horrific things. I don't know where they came from. People said that they only started appearing after the whole Echo Blight. There's some sort of warped creature that heals pretty fast. So expect it to, you gotta kill it quick if you're trying to kill it. But it heals so quick that all of its features close up. Its nose and its mouth and its eyes and its ears are all featureless.
That sounds very unpleasant.
Just, yeah. But
like
still gotta eat.
Like a skin cocoon.
How does it eat?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Dysfunctional RPGs. Thank you for that, Ray. That's very kind of you.
I've heard stories, but I think it bites through from underneath It's pretty horrific. I haven't run into one myself, but I've heard of people that have dealt with them.
What's the best place to punch it?
Best place to punch it? Probably in its gills. It's got like these kind of
Say less.
gill things on its around its collarbones.
I know we asked for this information, but I regret asking for
Punch
this
it
information.
where there might be a hole.
Yeah. It seems to be the only part of it. It's like these, I say gills, but I don't know what else you would call them, but they're these kind of slats that go straight to its lungs on its chest. And it seems to be the only thing that stays
stab
open
me
to breathe.
here. The stab me here spot.
Yep. So that's the way to do it. But definitely want to kill him quick. It'll probably try to run away from you if it's losing.
Gareth, your fists, much like life, will find a way.
Exactly.
Yep.
Through his spinal column.
Yeah.
I wish you luck if you're tracking it down. You know if it's eaten recently? I don't know how old these are.
It seems like it.
Maybe.
The date's like, the date is very clearly like written on these.
Okay.
Oh.
If it has, is there something that you should be aware of?
Usually when it's well fed, that's the worst time to go after it.
Yeah.
You kind of want to starve them out for a bit.
So it's not one of those ones where you fear them when they're hungry. You fear them when they're full.
Yes, absolutely. Got more energy there. They, I mean, they're still dangerous no matter what, but they don't think as straight. They're more desperate, and they're more into running away when they're hungry than they are standing the ground and fighting. So you got a better chance at going through unscathed.
Is it all
Usually
big
they try to
full belly?
They try to be. I don't know if they're quite nocturnal, but they're definitely in like caves or dens, forests sometimes. Sometimes they build like little hut things.
They're usually more than one or just one.
They build huts.
Usually just one.
They don't move in
they-
herds.
Not that I'm aware of. Typically they are not. They don't seem to be like a natural creature, so they're pretty unfriendly to their own kind.
That's good.
Okay.
Well, that was super helpful. Thank you for the information.
If you do find more than one, let me know. That would be interesting.
Will do.
If we live to tell you, we might.
Oh, we got this.
There's 4 of you. I'm sure at least 2 of you will be back to tell me.
I'm
That's
definitely gonna punch one. So.
such positive thinking there.
It's like, you got it. And anything else?
I think that's it. Other than the little shadow dogs came from the Inquisitors, just in case that's useful.
That's probably a good thing to pass along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are Inquisitors out here.
3 of them.
Yep.
There were.
3.
One of them
Yeah,
was
they were
a
out.
tall dude in a fur coat that was here at the festival. He looked kind of weird, so I was following him a little bit earlier, and he kept eyeballing you real weird.
And he had a thing, right?
Hmm.
A thing?
A shiny thing that you saw?
Oh, he had his cufflinks. Possible spell focus.
I felt like I was pretty alert during the festival. I swore I would have saw him.
You were a little bit into drinking the meal.
Must have been using magic or something.
He was a magic priest.
Yeah.
Pretty sneaky.
That's how he made
Yeah.
those shadow dogs.
And then he also had a couple of guys in like full plate armor with them.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, they robbed the librarian and they took off, but
Librarian.
mm-hmm.
The one that's
Yeah. Her.
Yep.
Mhm.
what are those for?
Books?
What?
those?
Libraries, yeah.
Those buildings.
Oh,
They have
They hold knowledge,
books
information,
for reading.
books, maps.
Yeah.
historical tomes, stories.
Information.
See, I've heard these books that go after sometimes they're indestructible, and I figured that's why they want them. They're trying to like build something out of them.
See,
Well,
I
like
figured
armor.
that they're
Like a
using them
suit
to
of armor?
make.
Yeah.
See,
That's
I
what I
figured
do with
that's
it.
yeah.
That's
Same.
That's what I
I
suspect.
assumed invulnerable armor as well.
Or an unbreakable sword made of books.
Could you sharpen
Yeah.
a book?
Could be that.
Not if it's indestructible.
That is true.
Yeah.
You could
Is very true.
make like a big giant like grand mace, and like the fins of the mace are these
yeah.
books.
It's a book hammer.
A book hammer.
I was gonna say.
There you go.
Yeah.
Also known
Maybe
as
you
a
could get a
bammer.
lot.
Yeah, the bammer.
Might be able to get a lot of paper cuts from it. Maybe.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Death by 1,000 cuts. Yes.
Mhm.
You
must
can
be
go
why they
talk to
want
her if you
these.
want. She's a nice lady.
Yeah.
Maybe I will. He thinks about that. It's like,
Or maybe I
Right.
won't. Right. So.
Maybe she could learn you some letters.
I haven't needed those.
That's
I mean,
fair.
if you haven't needed them yet, what are you going to need them for?
Yeah. I just they had that part in school, and there was the other part in school that taught me how to kill things, and that's what I use.
See?
Who did you go to?
You
sounds
do
rough.
you.
Like, there's not even any letters on this, and he holds up his little bat, like his emblem thing, and there's definitely like writing on it that says he's with the Echo Wardens, and puts it away. Like, see, don't eat them.
It might benefit you at least if you recognized when letters are there or not.
Listen,
I bet I could do that.
someone in this group is a warden, and then the other someones are not. So, I mean, like, obviously he's got to be
got a
doing something
point.
right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did say property of Walmart, though. I'm just pointing that out.
I hear they only have
for
this in the
actual.
East.
This is a reproduction. And
Yeah, not for
This one
resale.
says replica. What?
Yeah. He's like, well, hopefully that's all you needed from that. And then you see there's like people kind of behind him that are calling out, and they're like wanting to hear more about his story. And
Your
he's
fans
like,
wait.
I'm being called. And
Yep.
you
face them and
you do you.
Yeah.
waves you guys off.
Maybe we'll see you around. Good luck on
He's
that.
like, probably. I wander around wherever people need me. And he like kind of puffs his chest out a little bit, and then starts talking to everyone else.
And don't forget to
Starts
visit the local library.
Zooming the poses. He waves that off. All right. But yeah, with that, you've learned some more information about this creature thing. He seems to be kind of familiar with it, but you didn't get the sense that he's like personally fought them, but he's like definitely heard of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was useful information.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna get all up in its gills.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hopefully not in its mouth.
Hopefully not.
Yeah.
All right. And with that, I'll say we are at time.
Nice. We did it.
Nice.
Good 2-hour session. We did. Hopefully next time Jake's power will be back on. We'll have the full crew. It's all good.
Yeah.
Not forgetting this time, let's do EXP questions.
Mm.
Go
Excuse
through.
I was
me,
here.
Joe. I've already done mine.
Yes,
I got a point for a session.
What?
you
I
did.
got 3 or 4 points.
So,
Nice. Yeah, you did.
I mean, technically,
I got
we
4
did
points.
story.
yeah, so first one, participate in the session. You all get that, obviously. Gain or remove any conditions. I think only Chuck took a condition.
Yup.
Got that. Did you fail a roll or take harm from pushing?
I
Yup.
didn't.
Yes.
Filled a roll, I think.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Okay.
I took damage from getting hit, but I didn't take any damage from pushing.
Yeah, I filled a roll.
Yeah, I think you did. So, okay. Yeah. And then, did you make progress on the story or objective? which you did. You guys got the books, and then you picked up a job. And then don't think a GM boon. I need to keep that in my head more, like as stuff happens. But yeah, it was good. So everyone got either 3 or 4 in your case, Chuck. So everyone should be right around 6 to 7 XP.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm taking 2 skill increases. I'm bumping conceal and ranged from both of them are at 1. I'm bumping them up to 2.
Awesome. I feel like that's kind of a fair way that it's laid out for advancements and things.
I think so.
Yeah, I'll have to read through it again to make sure I spend it correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like, because I'm trying to make the advances like pretty powerful.
Yeah.
But you'll have to save for like a session or 2 if you want to take one.
I was thinking about taking the persistent advancement. And that way I can ignore the damage of a pushed roll once a session.
Yeah.
That'd be
Pretty good.
nice.
That's pretty good.
That
Yeah, it
could have
comes in
saved
handy.
you
And
a fair amount of
you can-
harm.
It could have, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because you don't necessarily have to use it the first time you push. You can just kind of sit on that, and then like that one we rolled where you got 4.
4 fucking
Yes.
damage.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, yeah. Another session down. We'll be doing this again next week. What do we got going on else in DOK world?
This week, as far as streaming goes, is pretty light. Wednesday, we've got our Dungeon Crawl Classics campaign where we're running the 2nd edition Adventure Night Below. Dan, Alex, and John are in that, along with Jeremy and Bert. And then Friday, we're back here with you, man.
Awesome. Yeah. And next Friday, running session 3, Anvea, Tomes of Ruin.
Yeah.
As I keep dragging you through this game where I forget to write everything down.
How dare you?
Oh,
I never write stuff down.
Yeah.
But that's what this is for.
Yeah.
This whole campaign is about hating books, right? So it totally
is.
makes
It
sense.
is.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Tuesdays and Thursdays on the Defenders of Cobalt YouTube channel, we have new episodes of our
Right?
Pathfinder 2nd Edition, Age of Ashes Adventure Path. Oops, all goblins. The chaos continues.
The chaos
Yes.
continues.
It truly does.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Alrighty. I think with that, thanks for watching, everybody. Super appreciate everyone being along for the ride as we're getting into the hang of things. I think we'll start, getting more and more momentum as everyone learns the mechanics, and I remember all of them off the top of my head to tell people. And it's going well. So have a good night, everyone.
Goodbye.
Have a good night.
Bye.